Hey everyone, I am super excited to be the one to kick off this call. Kim is somebody that I have been watching for years, her and her husband. We actually got to be in the 80-day obsession test group together, and y'all, she brings the fire. She has got so much spunk, and she is amazing. Her and her husband, Jamie, are great leaders, great teachers, and they've accomplished something that hasn't happened before. They are two-time elite couple. And that's everybody's dream, I know, to have their spouse on board. So I'm not sure what all she's going to share, but I know that you better have your notepad out, and she's going to drop lots of nuggets. She's number 16 in the company right now, and Jamie is number 17. That is a major inspiration. So I will not talk anymore. I will kick it off and leave it to her.
Awesome. Thanks, Mindy. Okay, guys, I'm super excited to chat with you tonight. I thought long and hard. I was thinking all day when someone says, speak about what you want to pour into these leaders. I'm like, well, I want to pour everything into these leaders. I just want to talk and just go, 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 go. But here's what I was thinking. So, I know that you guys are focusing this month on recruiting. And one of the things that I will share is that I am really freaking good at recruiting, like a bomb at recruiting. And I know that I should sound more humble, but I'm good at recruiting, and I'm going to share that because I think as women and as coaches and as health and wellness entrepreneurs, we do not share what we are good at enough. Can I get an amen? Do we try to make ourselves small? Do we try to put ourselves in a box about what we are not good at? Well, here's what I want to share with you tonight. I want to actually talk about the client experience. That's what I want to talk about. Do you know that Jamie and I, 28 of our diamond leaders came from our challenge groups? 28. And I think a lot of times we spend so much time worrying about why no one's commenting on our post, why no one's engaging, why we're not getting more followers. But guys, we are not actually looking at the people that are in our own backyard. We are not taking care of our own people that we have the honor of serving because we're so busy trying to get to the next hurdle. So I want to talk to you tonight a little bit about client experience, because I believe that every coach leader starts as a satisfied client, as a client that gets results, as a client that's excited about waking up and crushing their workout. I really believe in that. So I want to kind of talk to you a little bit, and I want to paint you a picture, because when I started, I actually have it here. I have this picture here. And this picture is actually where I should have had slides, but I don't, so it's fine. We're rolling with it. This is actually a picture of my first employment. And I remember when I was in college, because many of you, if you heard my national wake-up call, you'll remember that I was raised with not a ton of love. And I was raised really believing that I was a lot smaller than I was. And I was also told for a long time that I wasn't smart enough to go to university. And I believed that. So I decided to be the college student that got 3 diplomas, and I was going to be the one that didn't go travel to all the cool places my friends were traveling to with backpacks on their bag, which sounds like my nightmare, to be very honest with you. I wanted to get a job. I wanted to get a job at a college, and I really didn't understand or know what I wanted to do. I knew that I had a passion for serving people. I knew that I had a passion for creating incredible experiences. I knew that I had a passion for creating incredible community, but I didn't know how I was going to channel on that. And when I first started at Humber College, I just remembered I wanted to be a camp counselor. That was my jam. And one day I was walking and I saw this group of senior citizens, and I was late for practice. I was a soccer player. I was on varsity athletic team, and I was late for practice. And I looked at this group of seniors that I thought was lost. And I looked down the field. I'm like, okay, it's going to take me 8 minutes to get to the field. I'm already late, but I felt compelled. I felt called. You know when you have those moments, guys, where it's those little whispers that say, stop what you're doing and listen? I stopped what I was doing and I listened, and I went over to those residents, those seniors that I didn't realize lived in a long-term care home. And I actually ended up walking them home. I was so late for practice. I was benched the next game, but I found my calling, my first calling. My first calling was to help serve older adults. My first calling was to figure out how was I going to become an irreplaceable employee in the field of senior living. And I changed my focus that week. I changed my focus for my next semester. And I enrolled into social service worker gerontology. And I changed my focus from all the things that I wanted to do into gerontology, and I poured all my love into that. And guys, I got my first co-op placement at a long-term care home. And imagine this. And I want to liken this to our business. So as I'm speaking, I want you to think about your storefront. I want you to think about the clients you serve. I want you to think about your customer experience. I want you to think about how you have those conversations behind the scenes. So I walked up, I got my first placement in a long-term care home. I thought it was going to be amazing. I was so excited. I was this like young, impressionable 20-year-old girl that thought she was going to change the world. Even though I was told everything that I wasn't going to be able to, or I wasn't smart enough, I still believed I could in that moment, because I got this job. And I walked in and I went to open the doors and they were locked. I was like, okay, there's a locked door. I can't get in. I had to get PIN codes to let me in. I had to get the guard, I call them the guards, the PSWs to let me in. And I opened the doors and there was a waft of urine. And I was like, okay, what am I doing right now? So there were locked doors, waft of urine, and everybody was sitting there in a circle with their heads down. And I had to spend the next 6 weeks there trying to make people happy. And I had one of the worst experiences of my life. And I said, I don't want to do this job. What am I doing? Why am I here? What have I been called for? And I did end up writing out that placement. I had to do it. It was fine. I did it. And I had the opportunity when I went back and I moved back to my hometown to go to a placement opportunity at this retirement home. And I refer to this retirement as like a 5-star resort compared to what I just was in. And I was determined that when I left that long-term care home, I was going to change everybody's life, and I was going to change the future of senior living care in Canada. That was my goal. I made a big goal because I was so upset with the conditions in which they were living. And I walked into this home and I parked my car, and there was a golf course, little putting green over to the side. There were residents putting, laughing. And I walked around the court and I walked up to the porch, and there were 4 residents sitting in a rocking chair, rocking their chair. One was holding their hands with one of the nurses on her break. I opened the doors and a waft of popcorn overwhelmed me, and baked bread. And I saw a golden retriever named Trevor sitting by the desk. I don't know who names their dog Trevor, but I was going to roll with it. And I looked right up in front of, there's a concierge there, this beautiful woman named Kelly. I'll never forget her. And I looked over Kelly's head, and all I saw was a sign. And it was the mission statement. And it was champion the quality of lives for all seniors. And I looked at that and I read it again. To champion the quality of lives for all seniors. And all I could think about was, that's going to be my mission statement for my life. I want to help to champion the quality of lives for all humans, because I believe that everybody's worthy of that. And I went to work. I had to make myself irreplaceable. I had to make sure that I was irreplaceable. And I liken and I tell you this story, guys, because I want to ask you, what's your business? Are you locked doors? Or are you popcorn smelling aroma with options and different types of sensory stim and awesome different experiences? What's your storefront? Right? So it's really important for you to understand that. I know what I want my storefront to be. I want my storefront to be welcoming. I want my storefront to tell a very clear vision of what I believe in right from when you first see me. I want someone to be able to scroll through my Instagram stories and in my Instagram feed and know exactly the type of leader I am and exactly the type of coach that I am. Because I always wonder, have you recruited you first? When I walked in through those doors and I saw that sign that says, I want to champion the quality of life, I knew that I wanted to do that for me. I wanted to do that for my business. And I had no idea that my career was going to change into this world. I was very, very happy in my head because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. So I want to talk about how I feel that our accountability groups and our client groups and our challenge groups and the people that we serve are a massive part of the foundation of our business. And I want to share some of my ingredients to help our clients and our customers to build that confidence in their belief and have the tool belt to decide to jump into coaching and actually decide to build their business. How many of you have had some coaches that are clients? How many of you have transitioned coaches to clients? And how do they do? Fairly good, right? They're less inconfident. They're kind of, that's not even a word. They're more confident. They're kind of understanding of the systems and the processes and the products, right? So for me, I realized that we were missing a part. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that my challenge groups were a bit of a training ground for my potential clients, for my potential coaches. because that's your opportunity. How many of you have 50, 30, 70, 100, 1,000 people in your client groups that you haven't even considered for coaching, that you haven't even considered to recruit? Right? Is that fair? Like, how many of you have connected with your clients and you know where they're at and potentially could be their coaches? So I want to share that to just prime you for that, because I think it's super important to think about that. So one of the ways that I do, my client and my customer service is about 40% of my business. So I make sure that my client satisfaction and my groups are the bomb. I want to make sure that there's a fear of missing out. There's a couple reasons why. When I recruit on social media and I want to tell people that the magic happens in our private accountability groups, the last thing I want for my credibility is for someone to get in there and be like, this is awful. Wow, she was blowing smoke up my ass. Because that's just not who I am. I believe that you get what you promote, right? So if you're promoting things that are authentic and that are exciting and that you take time to do your own marketing plan each month and you get excited about what you're going to talk about, people are going to feel that. And recruiting doesn't feel so tough, because when you're passionate about something and when you share something from your heart, people actually believe you. And it's less of a, I'm trying to get people to coach with me or come be a part of my challenge groups, to you can't keep people away from you. So one of the things we do in our accountability groups is we take pulse checks. So if our clients are not successful in these programs and our clients are falling off their programs, then they're not going to be billboards for you. They're not going to be people that you can use as Transformation Tuesdays or at Throwback Thursdays or Woman Crush Wednesdays. They're not going to be people that are willingly giving you testimonials to share. You need to remember that, guys, this business is about physical health. This business is about emotional health. It's about mental health, and it's about financial health, typically in that order, right? That's what I talk about when I'm helping to serve other people. I talk about all the ways that in which I can help enhance your life. And I do that also in our challenge group. Because what if that woman that you help get her confidence back applies for that promotion? You've now changed her financial trajectory. This job isn't for everybody, but our job is to serve everyone in the way in which that they need to be served. Right? Super, super key. So for me, we really focus on self-love. We focus on self-growth. We focus on confidence of our physical strength, our emotional strength, and our emotional strength. Because at the end of the day, a coach that I want on my team is somebody that's a self-starter, somebody that's a leader, somebody that's not asking me how to find something on BOD because they read their welcome emails, right? That's who I want. That's who I want in my bench. So it makes it, honestly, guys, having a system, when you onboard your clients, you are actually teaching them how to become awesome clients in their own life. It's not our job to be the hero. It's not our job for somebody to have to ask you 1,000 questions. It's our job to answer those back and guide them to the answers. So, because those are the qualities of a strong coach. Those are the qualities of someone you want to recruit. Those are someone you want to partner with. So teaching and ensuring your clients are set up from day one totally matters. So knowing what your systems are and your processes are is really, really it's really important. Because guys, that's how they're going to train their clients one day. So the other thing I want to talk about is honestly hold on one second, all my notes are all messed up. Yeah, okay. So we want to make sure that how we onboard our clients is almost similar to how we onboard our new coaches. So we welcome our clients in, we make a big deal, we announce their name. They typically will do a video of who they are, what their goals are, what they're focusing on in our client group. So already they're getting comfortable with being uncomfortable right off the bat, right? So that's helpful. The ones that don't do it probably aren't going to be your stellar coaches, and I mean that with love, because it's not their jam and it's not for everybody. But the ones that do rise, it's really fun to be able to work with them. So how do we create the magic? So I have a welcome email that I send. We send a 7-series welcome email to our clients. It's dripped over each day. And we've got seven emails that we send them to help them be set up for success in their journey. So again, we do the same thing for our coaches when they onboard too. I do a resource guide. So I've got, and it was posted in the roundtable. So Melissa or Mindy may have a copy of it that you want to share with everyone. I'm happy to give that to you guys. But it just talks about habits. It talks about all the things we need to do as good coaches, guys, right? Like, how do you develop great habits? How do you develop a routine? How do you function? What are the books you read? What is the personal development you read? Those are all examples of what I give our clients so that they're being set up with the vital behaviors, basically, right? I basically treat our clients like coaches and they get the vital behaviors too. And it's in the resource guide. I love to do workout roll calls. So every morning, everyone's posting underneath those workout roll calls. Guys, we still have anywhere from 200 to 400 people posting under there every single day. So the engagement is through the roof. It is an expectation that you show up. And if you don't show up, Ryan Gosling shows up and looks for you in a missing ad, basically. And then everyone can call the person out that they haven't seen. And it's like Ryan Gosling with his shirt off. You can just it's on Canva, or you can Pinterest it, but you can find Ryan Gosling. It's like, hey girl, where are you? And it's fun. It's non-threatening. It's exciting. And it actually makes people feel really important because you care. And that's our job, right? Our job's to care. How much would you care if someone said, hey girl, I missed you today? One of my coaches did that for me on our 2B mindset call. She's like, Kim, you never miss a call. Where were you? I'm like, I didn't even think you liked me in my head. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, I was so thoughtful that she looked for me. You missed a call, I'm looking for you. That felt good. So it's important, right? We did a Spotify playlist. So every time we have an open Spotify playlist. So every time our new client comes on, we're like, hey, what's your favorite music? Add it to our Spotify playlist. And we have the Fitz Life crew. And that's what we play. So there's wicked music and everybody can kind of stream that. And that's really fun. Another thing we do is we do morning Zoom workouts. I'm sure you guys do this too. Set at different time zones. It really helps me. I've been so terrible at my morning workout call or my Zoom calls that they basically make fun of me in GIFs in our little chat that I'm not going to show up and I'm like the walking zombie. But it helps you be held accountable. What's cool about that is that everyone else is leading that. I don't have to be the leader because they're leaders and they're looking for me. That's the magic right there, right? We don't have to be the hero. Allow your clients to be the hero. Allow your clients to be the ones that are checking in on you too, because it's a community and we're in this together. Daily lives. I totally do a live a lot. I'm a live girl. I love it so much. So I will just pop on live or I'll share lives in that group and I just want to touch base with them. I think it's really important to be showing up in your groups. It's super, super important. One of the things I like, because I do the challenge tracker, I'll just save that 3-minute clip and I'll share it everywhere. And then it saves you time, right? You're done. And you've just saved all of the videos, which is important. So again, it's about working smarter, not harder, and making sure that you're thinking ahead of the game and just share those videos so that you know that everyone's seen it. I also do a weekly email on Sunday nights, and I really love to do pulse check questions. So I do 5 questions every Sunday night. And typically what I ask about is I ask about their nutrition, I ask about their sleep hygiene, I ask about their hydration, I ask about their mindset, and I ask about where they're at with their workouts. And is there anything else that you need? Are you bored? Are you sore? Those are the questions I ask. I really ask a lot of questions. Now, when a lot of them respond back to me, I die because I'm like, no. Well, there's so many emails now, but most of them don't. There's probably 15, right? There's about 15. So I don't want to panic anyone being like, how does she do all this? There's about 15 that actually respond and the rest are just enjoying reading them, right? And so when I share that with you, it's just one more touch point. It's one more pulse check. It's one more element of a customer service that you can do. I use Streak. So I'm actually able as my client management tool, and I'm actually able to email all of them in a minute. So for me, that's not stressful, but for people that don't have Streak or another form of being able to email MailChimp or something like that, it could be something that you want to look into to professionalize your customer experience. Again, when you're able to say to someone, you get me one-on-one, you're going to be in the group, but you get a weekly email from me, that's enough, right? That's enough of a touch point. So it's something that's super easy to do. And one of the things I love to do with my weekly emails as well is I'll just grab a YouTube video or something that inspired me or a really cool quote. And I always put a personal development at the beginning of that email so that they're thinking and that they're primed for the week. Again, what's one of the vital behaviors? It's personal development. So I try to make sure that we're doing that and we're building competency in our leaders within our client group. Guys, leaders build leaders. So if you are not thinking about how important your challenge groups are and the people that are in those challenge groups, you're missing a massive part of your recruitment. Rachel Hollis says you should be recruiting. She recruits to 80, her sales come from 80% of her current clients. That is crazy. And half the time we're so busy trying to find people to come do this with us, we aren't in our own backyard. So promote Energize. Share on your meal plans that you have beach bars or greens or boosts or digestive fibers. You know, share that you're excited about the new programs that are coming out, right? Share that stuff because that is also recruitment and enhancing your sales, bumping your team volume, which is going to bump up your pay, which is kind of cool. And you can teach your team to do the same thing. One of the things, guys, is like you've got to start with your clients. You're building your tribe, you're building your team. And what I found is by mimicking a way of the way I onboard coaches and the way I onboard clients, it's so twofold. It's absolutely twofold. We have a lot of our clients are actually certified in Insanity. They're certified in PIO. They're certified in Core de Force, my clients. And that's cool to me, right? They're doing the things that coaches do before they're coaches. And I love that. So offer those opportunities. I actually have a lot of clients that are 2B Mindset certified. A lot of them that want to become Portion Fix certified. So offer those opportunities. It doesn't mean that they're all going to become coaches, but gosh, they're spreading so much good in this world and they're changing their lives. And sure as heck, they're going to be referring everybody to you if they're not ready to do it yet. So one of the ways I also create the customer experience, we do a personal development book of the month. So every month we lead a book club. And I actually have we called it the bookworms. And I have 5 clients that were like, I'm going to co-lead this with you, Kim. They've totally taken it over. That's their jam now. Her name's Christy and she's like a librarian. And I don't even have to worry about that because you give them the power. You empower your clients. You don't have to do it all. Our job is to create community. Our job is to give people kick-ass experiences. Our job is to help people believe before that they believe that they can do it too. That's our job. And it's really fun when you get to work it collaboratively. Recognition. So we do recognition in our group as well. Getting them used to kind of shouting out other people. Coaching vital behavior. And we also announce and introduce every new client. We talked about that. And our clients that are certified actually do moves of the day on Sundays. So a lot of our PIO certified clients are the ones that will lead like a cool 2 moves of PIO or a stretch, and they love that, doing that. So let's talk conversions. Let's talk recruiting. So this isn't very updated, but I want to show you guys something. You see that? All right. This is my whiteboard. This is like the master spot. So this is all getting filled all week. Potential clients, our coaches, our success starters, our runners, all of those things. So you need to make sure that you can see your people. So I make sure that I have a whiteboard of my people, of my shakers, of my movers, of the people that are potentially able to connect. And I've developed a 3-prong approach. So a 3-point client to coach approach. Firstly, as I'm creating those coach activities, so as I'm creating opportunities for people to lead in the group, I'm observing who's leading. I'm observing who's doing a video. I'm observing who's posting more. I'm observing who's sharing one of the super trainer stuff into the group to share and to lead. And I'm commenting on that, right? Who's engaging? Who's answering questions before you are? Who's answering what's in an orange container? Coach. Right? It's like, you know this because you're actually doing the work of actually researching what the heck is in an orange container. You know, I don't have to screenshot you the book that's in your kitchen you haven't opened. That drives me bananas, right? And I'm really forward about that. I'm like, I'm not here to babysit. I'm here to help you read your stuff you have. So when I see other people that are, you know, engaging in that and answering back, I have a light bulb go on and I actually write their name down. I note their name down. So I want to make sure that you guys know, like, track your potential coaches. Track the people you maybe want to have on your team. Track why you think they're going to be good coaches. You have to have evidence that back up that. You can't just message someone and be like, girl, I love how you post in the group. I think you'll be a great coach. They're going to be like, no, I can never do anything that you do. Have evidence. Give it like specific examples. So for example, what I'll say is, you know, I'll message one of my clients, for example, Darla. She's such a cheerleader. And I'm like, Darla, you have no idea how much you just relieved Krista's stress from coming in this group, and you really made her feel comfortable. I just want to say thank you for being such a grounder in this group. That's it. And I mean that. And also never say anything you don't mean, right? Like I never have an intention that I'm going to sell a challenge pack or I'm going to get a coach. It's not my jam. It's not the way in terms that I recruit. I talk about relationships. I build relationships. And you need to be authentic in your communication, guys, because otherwise it just doesn't come across as authentic. And people are like, oh, here she goes, trying to get another coach on her team, right? And it just comes across disingenuous. But if you're actually meaning you're aware enough in your own groups and you're in your backyard and you're actually observant, then you know what's going on. The other thing I do is I voice note a lot. So once I've done that first initial message, in a week later, I'll voice note. I'll follow up, I'll voice note. I also note who's responding to me on the weekly emails, right? So that's important to me too. And I also talk about coaching. I talk about coaching when I'm in that group, you know, and I think that that's really, really important too. Don't be afraid of what you do and that you can help other people do it too. I connect again. I breathe belief. I compliment them again with specific examples. Like, thank you for shouting Tiffany out on her non-scale victory. You are so good at making people feel valued. You know, those are the words people want to hear. Valued, community, leader, contributor, those types of things, right? People are missing those things in their lives. And I know for a fact, I left the corporate world because I was treated awfully by a terrible manager. I went from having the most incredible leader leading me and believing in me and rising me up to things that I never thought that I was going to be able to do anything, to this woman that micromanaged me and basically edged me out the door. People don't leave companies, guys. People leave people. People don't leave your group because they don't feel like working out anymore. They aren't being served by you. It's very clear. So it's super, super important to remember that. So, you know, you really need to make sure that people feel honored and valued. How do I do polls? Polls via email. I'm the one who's in charge of my weekly email topics. So I'm the one who's leading that. So if I've read something that's powerful in my personal development that week, or I have a book recommendation, I will share that. I do an evening poll to do check-ins. But I don't do a poll of what the email topics they want to be. That's my job as their coach. I make sure that I'm the one that's curating that content. I'm the one that's leading those conversations. But the 5 things that I touch on mindset. I touch on nutrition, I touch on hydration, I touch on sleep quality, and I touch on their workouts. And I use Entreport. We use Entreport to track, and we use Streak. Those are our 2 main systems. Yeah, so that's kind of all I have for you in terms of recruiting, but I thought it would be helpful to Entreport. Yes, Ontraport, Entreport. MailChimp's a great one. It's free. It's a great one to start with. We didn't have.
That was amazing.
What's that?
That was amazing. I have
good.
2 full pages of notes here. So many different ideas and things that I personally haven't been doing in my groups. So thank you for just sharing so much. I did have a question. For your groups each month when you're advertising for your new challenge groups, obviously you have a start date. What do you do with the people who, Kim and Jamie have a group that's starting on the 14th, but Suzanne comes in and she wants to start on the 16th. Does she go into the group or does she wait till the next round? And where do those people go? Do you have like a big group?
Yes. Okay. So this is actually a Melissa McAllister thing she taught us at our Diamond Retreat, which I loved. So one of the things we've just started doing, so I have one master group that I call Slay Your Year. I've actually just started running it with 10 other leaders. And I'm so excited about it because I'm really pumped to just share it with my leaders that are rock stars. So there's only 10 of us, and we do like 3 or 4 posts a day in the group to really get that engagement. And so that's one way. So we have Slay, that's our master community. So our master community means you've graduated, which means you've done a challenge track at 21-day group, or like Transform 20 in the challenge tracker, or Lift in the small focus group. And then you transform, you graduate out into Slay. And then, here's what I'm learning that's really cool, because I just started this challenge tracker, is they're all best friends. They all are like little buddies. And they're like, there's 20 of them, like a pod going into Slay now, that I don't have to worry about. I'm like, great, you're all best friends. You're going to go in this group, and you guys are going to rock this together. So one of the things I found is like, they have a spot to go. We've kept it really, really electric. I've had to make sure that I'm putting a lot of really good content in there. A couple places where I grab my content for my challenge groups are this. Pinterest, obviously. I love the Beachbody blog. There is so much information on the Beachbody blog, guys. And I think it's really important to share muscle soreness, share like all the different things from all the different expertise on the Beachbody blog right in there. It's there for you. The other thing that I will share and Shay Sanford, God bless her, she jumped in our challenge group one time because she was doing something cool for me like a year or 2 ago. And she's like, Kim, you do not share enough about Shakeology. And I was like, she's the Shakeology guru, right? So now I'm like, you are so right. So one of the things I love to share is like, not just Shakeology recipes, but like those protein balls. Because guys, the more they use up the Shakeology, the more they're going to actually reorder it, right? So that's kind of been a cool thing too. So don't be afraid of sharing those types of resources in the client groups as well. I don't think I answered your question. I went off on a tangent.
No, that did give clarity. You have one big group, and then you have a smaller mastermind. Perfect.
I also run a free group. And I don't know your perspective on free groups. So I sometimes don't share it often. I've run 42 free groups. I average anywhere from 40 to 100 SC a month. And I get a lot of that from my free groups. So my free group is only mine. I do not share that with my downline because it is a recruiting spot. And I make sure that I do 3 days once a month of incredible free content. The free content I put into the free group, I also share with my clients. I use it on my newsletter, my newsletters, groups with my mailing list. I put it on Pinterest. For example, I just did a Love Yourself, like a rapper, like Yourself group. It was amazing. It's my jam. What I will recommend about any free group you do, you have to fall in love with it. If I were to do something on gut health, I don't know anything about gut health. It's not my jam. It's probably super important, but I don't know that I'd speak to it as well as I could buffet style meal prepping, how to prepare your kids' lunches, tips on how to travel. So what I've done is I just pick what's happening in my life. Guys, this business is about you. It's about your life. It's about being authentic. So so for me, I run my free groups. So for the next 3 months, I'm like, okay, I'm doing a ton of traveling. So I know I'm going to do 3 days of how to pack when you travel and how to make sure you stay on your plan, whatever your plan is, whether it's 2B mindset. And then I infuse 2B mindset in my group. So then I have 10 people that are like, well, I need 2B mindset because I'm talking about 2B mindset. So use it to your advantage as a recruiting tool, but be smart about it. Do not, I have girls that are like, I'm going to run a 21-day free group. I'm like, no, you are not. That is a waste of your time. But 3 days, pour it in, give them the self-love. Guys, people just want value. No one's going to sign up with you if they don't know what value you provide. They just won't, right? So the biggest thing I've learned is anytime someone says no to me, I'm like, no problem. Are you in my free group? I've done intermittent fasting free groups. I've done, like, you name it. I've done 44 of them. I'm obsessed with them. And they're like, no. I'm like, let me get you in there. Within 30 days, they sign up with me. Because I've like tagged them and stuff they're interested in. So it's all about your flow. I believe in a flow. If someone says no, let me send you a free meal plan. Because I know your pain point is you don't know how to meal plan. Right? So it's like, that's how I recruit. I leave everybody better than when they found me. I have zero expectations that you're going to sign up with me, but I close 98% of my sales and my conversations because I really work hard to build relationships with them.
Amazing, guys. We have like a couple minutes. If anyone wants to ask a question, you can unmute yourself. Kim's just shared so much with us. If there's anything else.
So I'll share. I just got a question from Anastasia about my 7-day email chain. So I keep it super simple. My first day is welcome. Here are my links to my groups. The second day is like motivation and how are you going to stay committed, and I share a commitment contract. The third day I talk about Beachbody On Demand, and I do a tutorial on Beachbody On Demand and all this good stuff. The fourth day I talk all about nutrition, where they're going to find all their stuff. The fifth day I talk about personal development and mindset. The sixth day I talk about measurements and getting sorted. And the seventh day I talk about discount coaching and seeing whether or not they're going to want a discount or whether or not they even know that I offer business coaching as well.
So in addition to, I'm echoing really bad, your free groups, how often are you doing sneak peeks?
So we just did one last night. So I feel like we do them I feel like I do a sneak peek every day, to be honest, into my business with our Instagram. We're going to probably do them every 2 weeks, if not every other week. Yeah. Is our plan. We did one last night, a webinar. It went really well. And I send that, yes, every new challenger gets a welcome email, which is amazing because then it does it. So, and actually, Melissa, that answers your question. So for the person that's starting on the 16th, they haven't missed 2 days of prep. They get it in their own inbox on their own way. And when people ask me questions, I'm like, did you look at your prep email? They're like, oh, I didn't. I'm like, you need to go read your prep emails. And it's just cut right down on my questions. It's cut right down on people not knowing what to do. It's just a lack of resourcefulness. They haven't read what they're doing, and that's typically why nothing works for them. Same with coaching.
Amazing. I don't know if I sound like a robot on your end. On my end, it sounds really weird. Can you hear me? No?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
It's all weird. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. You have been absolutely phenomenal. We are so grateful that we could get you on a call this evening. And ladies, if you have any additional questions, feel free to post them in the group and I can shoot them to Kim and maybe she can get back to us. But I don't think that there's anything else. We just are so grateful for you and Jamie's leadership, not only for in the roundtable, but the entire network. We really applaud you for everything you've done, and thank you so much for taking time away from your family to be on this call with us tonight.
Of course, my honor. All right, thanks, guys.